Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade pizza sauce using Pampered Chef's Deluxe cooking blender, as well as a delicious recipe using the pizza sauce. It's called hot pizza dip. Fun fact about the hot pizza dip recipe, it's a recipe I made at my very first Pampered Chef cooking show, which was held in January of 1999. So it's definitely a throwback recipe I think you guys will love. So let's go ahead and get started. As you're watching today, I would love for you to leave comments in the chat. Let me know if you're watching live or if you're catching the replay, where you're watching from, and if you have any questions along the way, feel free to leave them and I'll be more than happy to answer you after the video. You can find these recipes in my recipe community at theflipflopchef.com. If you're not already a part of that community, I hope to see you there. Let's go ahead and get started on this recipe. So I made the pizza sauce ahead of time in the blender. Let me grab one of these little bowls. So this is the pizza sauce. We're actually gonna use this in the hot pizza dip. But I wanna show you guys how easy it is to make. So since the sauce setting is about a 30 to 40 minute process, I went ahead and did it ahead of time, but I'm gonna tell you how to do it. The Deluxe cooking blender is a true cooking blender. It's a smart blender, it has a heating element built right in, so you're not cooking with friction, you're cooking with heat. So I added 2 cans of diced tomatoes right into the blender container. I added a can of tomato paste. I added some of Pampered Chef's brand new everything but the pizza seasoning, some of our garlic rub into the blender. You could add, if you want, you could add either or both of these enrichables. So this is kale and fiber, so it would add a little bit of green to the pizza sauce. And this is our pea protein. You can use these in your recipes to make them better for your family, so healthier. Adding that protein and the kale and fiber is always a great addition to these great recipes. So to do this, all you're gonna do is you turn the blender all the way over to where it says sauce, and then you're gonna press the little wheel on the front. I'm gonna show you what happens when you start it. Imagine the food is in there, even though we've already done this ahead of time. So it's gonna start blending first, and it will eventually stop blending, and then it will switch to heat, and it'll blend and then heat, blend and heat, blend and heat, and it goes back and forth until it reaches the desired temperature. Then it will actually display the word add on the blender display. And you're not gonna add anything, you're just gonna press the button so that it finishes cooking. Some sauces that we make, you do add another, like a step or another ingredient into the blender before you press the button to continue the cycle. But for this one, you add everything at the beginning and press the start button, and then when it says add, press the start button again. I also added about 1/2 tablespoon of sugar to this recipe. So I'm gonna turn the blender off, set these aside since we're done with those. I wanna show you guys what I did with the pizza sauce. So these are our soup bowls and freezer. They're freezer bowls that you can actually use to freeze soups or sauces like I have here. They're also great for larger portions of baby food. We do have a smaller set of these that you could use for baby food portions. This made 4 of these containers. So 1 recipe of pizza sauce in the blender filled 4 of these little bowls. They come with these little lids, and you can see, you can just stick these right on the top. You wanna wait for whatever you're cooking or whatever you've cooked and put in these bowls to cool down before you put the lid on them and before you put them in the freezer. So this is a set of 6 bowls, 6 lids, and this really cool rack that you can slide right into your freezer. So let me set this aside and let me get this blender out of the way just to give me a little bit more space, and I'll show you how to make this hot pizza dip. Very easy. I'm gonna slide this out of the view there. All right, so let's go ahead and make this pizza dip. Let me pull all the other ingredients around here so that you can see what I'm working with. So I have our pizza dip ingredients ready to go. This is just a brick of cream cheese. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a teaspoon of Pampered Chef's Italian seasoning and a teaspoon of our new everything but the pizza seasoning to this brick of cream cheese. So 1 teaspoon Italian seasoning and 1 teaspoon of the new everything but the pizza seasoning. If you are a Taste Bud subscriber, this is coming in the February packet of our Taste Buds. All right, then I'm just gonna use a little small spreader just to kind of mix this together, and you wanna make sure cream cheese is nice and soft so that you can get this mixed together easily. We're gonna cook this in Pampered Chef's 1 quart cast iron. This is gonna be the 1 quart enameled cast iron. People ask me all the time, can this piece go in the Deluxe air fryer? And this particular piece is not approved for our air fryer, so you would need to bake this in the oven. However, you could split this and make 2 small batches in the little mini cast iron pieces. Those are approved for the air fryer, so if you want to do this in the air fryer, you could certainly use that. Or you could use a larger container like the ceramic pot that goes with the quick cooker. It's approved to be used in the air fryer. All right, so I've got this almost all the way mixed together. And I'm just gonna spread it right on the bottom of this 1 quart enameled cast iron baker. Maybe I will. Let's see if I can get it out of there. All right, scrape the edges of our bowl. So just spread this to across the bottom of the 1 quart baker. We're gonna put half of our cheese mixture, which, by the way, I've got a mixture of mozzarella and Parmesan. So I've got this already mixed together. We're gonna do half of that on top of the cream cheese. Just spread that around. And we're gonna put some pizza sauce. So remember, this is the pizza sauce that we made in the cooking blender. Just spread this around. And then we're gonna put the rest of the cheese right on the top. This is a great recipe if you're getting ready for the Super Bowl or any party, right? Or just because you like pizza. All right, spread that to the edge. I should have shredded more cheese because if you know me, that's not nearly enough cheese. So I'll have to add more of that on top of it before I bake it. But we're also going to add some bell pepper on the top. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing on my cutting mat here. And we're gonna start off with a yellow bell pepper. Oops, throwing stuff around over here. And we're gonna cut the top of the bell pepper right off, okay? And then we're gonna use our scoop loop to scrape out the seeds from the inside of this pepper. So we're just gonna scrape this out, scrape the sides, just like that. I don't need this entire pepper. Don't ever waste the top of your pepper. Just break this apart like that. And I'm just gonna use maybe 1 side of this pepper. So if you're not familiar with how to hold and use a knife, I'm gonna show you. And if you're using Pampered Chef's cutlery, you're gonna notice there's a little circle right here. This, it's on both sides. So whether you're right or left-handed, you're gonna know where to put your thumb. So for me, it's gonna go on the other side. And then your index finger goes on the other side. These 3 fingers are gonna wrap around the handle like this. This is gonna give you really nice control and a really nice grip. You're gonna put the tip of the knife down on the cutting board and you're gonna rock this back and forth. So you're not like picking the knife up like this, you're just rocking it so that it stays on the cutting board at all times. And I'm just sort of like crinkling up my fingers on this side so that I don't get my fingernails or the edges of my fingernails. All right, and then we're gonna slice it the other way and give this a nice dice. And then you're gonna put these bell pepper pieces right on top of the pizza dip and bake it right in the oven. Now, I'm gonna add more cheese before I do that because if you guys know me, I love cheese. If a little's good, a lot is better, and that's just not enough cheese. So I'm gonna set this aside so that I can show you the last step here, and I'll add more cheese before I add the bell pepper on the top. All right, slide some things into the view of the camera here. So you can see we're gonna serve this with a French bread loaf. So I've gone ahead and pre-cooked this. This is Pillsbury French loaf, so it comes in the long, skinny tube. You could use any French bread. You could even buy it already made if you wanted to. I cooked this on our sheet pan, and I've got our bread knife here. I'm just gonna slice this kind of like on a diagonal, just like this. And then when you're serving this pizza bread or pizza dip, you can actually, oops, I won't make you watch me do the whole thing. You can actually take your cooked pizza dip, put it on this beautiful wooden cutting board, and you can surround it with all of those slices of French bread before you're ready to serve it. And then it just looks really pretty, and presentation is important, but taste is the most important thing if you ask me. And this hot pizza dip is delicious. So these recipes you can find in my recipe group at theflipflopchef.com. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.